Jodi Arias, sit down, shut up, stop tweeting. Be quiet. Well, hello everybody. Mikey Kung Pao here, in a great mood today. Later on I'll tell you why I'm in such a good mood. Not drugs, I promise. Okay, got my Jodi tools handy here, Jodi Arias tools, doing a Jodi video. This is one of them, because, you know, Jodi a pacifist. And, of course, this is the other one, you know. So, we keep our Jodi tools handy, in case any crazy Jodi fans want to come around. I understand there's a couple on the roofs with guns and knives and things in their car. Anyway, I'm going to read you a headline that I have here on the computer. And it say, Arizona rejects Jodi Arias pre-deal again. 3 times now they keep rejecting these pre-deals. I think the last one, I think the first plea deal was, could you give me like $250,000 for all my appearances and interviews, and maybe let me go on probation, okay? And give me a free pass to do some maybe drama theater work. That was the first plea deal that she asked for. Anyway, let's see what it say here for a second. I got a couple quotes. This is Jodi tweeting, okay? Because somehow, for some reason that I don't understand, judge and court and jail still allow her, through her friend, that creature named Donovan, whatever that thing is, to tweet on her behalf. And she say, my third attempt to resolve the case quietly was and less expensively was denied. Sorry, taxpayers. That's Jodi, always looking out for the taxpayers. The good old taxpayers of Arizona. See, she have a soft spot for all the taxpayers, and she trying to help them. You know, and very helpful as always. And she say this about the court appearance. She say, a few of my dedicated haters. A hater would be anybody that values the truth or justice or anything like that. A few of my haters came all the way to court today just to glare at me. Gee, that's really unfair, Jodi, because I don't think you've ever glared at anybody that I recall. I'm flattered. Yeah, sure you are. Although you do love to rhyme right, I'd say that for you. I thought that it was I who had nothing better to do. Tweeted Jodi after her status conference. Okay, so what we're going to do today is just look at a clip or two about that status conference, about her tweeting, and you know, maybe we should keep her around because the world does not have enough hair. And she said she would grow her hair if we kept her alive and cut it and contribute it to somebody, okay? And, you know, I think that she also is right on the verge, very, very close now. If we leave her around for a few more decades, she's very close to solving global warming and a cure for cancer. And she needs a little more funding, though. And if everyone would just buy her latest t-shirt, which says on it, Travis was really the abuser, you morons, okay? Anyway, you know, Jodi's followers are still slandering that poor guy. Didn't do anything, and they're running around, you know, calling him a pedophile and stuff still, even though that was a whole made-up story by Jodi, not a single lick of evidence of any kind, in any way, in any form, by anyone at any time. Anyway, and nothing, of course, documented ever. Pour through his computer and his internet. I'm not going to go back and retry that case. We followed that ground already, didn't we? All right. Let's look at the tweet issue and stop my yakking for a minute. Then we come right back and say goodbye. It's a short one today. All right, you're going to save us some money, Jodi, while you grow your hair? Let's see.
Gene, I think justice is not about money. Justice has always been about the law and the rule of law. And here in this case, this family, Gene, this family is asking the county attorney to continue the case, to get her.
Hey, don't you think that her hairstyle would look good like playing Rosanna Dana? You know how Mrs. Mikey Kung Pao does Emery Ratera? Okay, that little off topic. All right, let's keep going.
A conviction and to get her put to death. And so that's what's important, and that's what's going to happen. Jodi, as the taxpayer watchdog, is just ridiculous. And her tweets...
I am so sad because they took my makeup away from the waiting room at the jury place, at the, you know, the witness place, the room I got to sit in.
Are so out of control, saying that, you know, taxpayers, please, you know, think...
Hey, wait a second. See that thing that say the Lion's Den there? The Ryan's Den? I'm glad Nancy Grace is not on this show, because then we have to call it the Liar's Den, you know? Liar's Den? Okay, anyway.
This is a bad thing. I mean, come on, is that what she's left with? She's
Well,
trying to go after
Brian
the
Silver, let me ask you, defense attorney joining us out of Miami, $1.7 million so far. She's been convicted of first-degree murder. Life in prison will be her fate. Does the prosecution really need to go farther?
You know, in this case, I actually agree with Jordan. She's 100% correct. You know, you can't...
I wish we could see Jodi drink to watch her, you know, where she had the arm like way out like that, but they don't have that in this
put a
one.
price on justice. Part of the reason why we have the system that we have is not only rule of law.
Oh, you know what I think the problem is here? I think she needs some Claritin, because she got allergic to Juan Martinez. I think that's the problem there.
But so that the public and victims of crime have an outlet for the things that have upset them in a way that is lawful and based on ethics and rules. And in this case, if you have found her guilty of a heinous murder, the prosecution is completely within its rights in a death penalty state to go forward with the death penalty, especially if that's where the victims want to see happen. You know, so I can't fault them for anything that...
Hey, get that freak, get that horrible hate monger liar off my screen, okay? Get her off of there.
that they're doing. And I think Jodi...
No, not this one, Nancy Grace, okay. Well, both of them, you know.
is out of her mind to continue with these ridiculous tweets. All it does is prove what a psychopath she probably really is.
You mean is there something wrong with her? A sociopath, psychopath? Oh, we're going to look at one of her followers in a minute or two, okay.
And I completely disagree with it. And if anybody, I feel bad for her lawyers. They clearly have a client who's out of control.
You know, I wouldn't feel too bad for her lawyers because it looked to me like, you know, it looked to me like her lead attorney is getting enough to eat, okay, so.
And that they can't manage.
All right, Don Lieberman, HLN contributor, let's talk about these tweets because they are continuing and we get some information out of them, right? Jodi is saying the third request they've had for a plea deal so they don't go into the penalty phase.
What kind of request on plea deal are they making? Like, let me go with just probation and time served? I bet you that's what it is.
Has been rejected. Does Jodi Arias have any type at all of leverage in this?
She has zero leverage.
Zero leverage? I wonder what she has to say about that.
It's not fair. How many?
It's earlier.
It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair.
He's a convicted, gruesome killer and liar. And not for nothing, but you're really not supposed to discuss any sort of, plea discussions in the public domain. So as Brian said, I'm sure her lawyers are furious about that. This is just another chance for Jodi Arias to say, look at me, I'm...
Oh, she never ever did that. I don't think she ever did anything like that.
Did you, I have to ask you this, did you kill Travis Alexander?
Absolutely not. No, I had no part in it.
So you had nothing to do with Travis Alexander's death, is that what
Nothing to do with it. There is one thing I wanted to address, and that is my mugshot. I think I did a little tilt on my head and gave a little smile. I just want to address that because I think that people don't really understand. And there are a few reasons I did that, and one is it would be all over the internet, so why not? And then there was also the fact that I know that I'm innocent, and even though this is a very serious thing to be charged with, there's no reason for me to be sad, because I know that I'd never hurt Travis, and
Never.
There's just...
I love animals. The doggy that I kicked and killed, and the cats that I tortured.
There's no reason to be upset over this, in my mind. Everything, I have faith that in the end everything will be made known, everything will come out.
It all has, Jodi, actually. So I'm glad you had faith in that.
And in the meantime, smile and say cheese.
Smile and say cheese. Not me. I'm not looking for the rhyme right, except 24 hours a day, every day, 365 days a year, for the last 5 years.
Still relevant, I'm still here, and every time she tweets, it's another kind of dagger in the heart of the Alexander family. It's ridiculous. It should be shut down, and frankly, it's not up to her or her side to introduce, what she wants to plead to. It's up to the state of Arizona if they are willing to even keep a plea deal on the table.
Yeah, so be tough, Juan. Be tough, Juan Martinez. Hey, I got a question. What's with this blonde here? Is she just eye candy? They never let her talk the whole time. She didn't say one word. Don't know what's going on there. Okay, anyway. On to the crazy troll who's just like all the other trolls that are in love with Jodi.
Chapter of the Jodi Arias saga. Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies are now transporting a New York State man whom they say made death threats against 2 TV personalities who were covering the Arias trial. Now, the suspect is 48-year-old David Lee Simpson. A grand jury here in Phoenix indicted him last week on
Are you sure his name not Mophead or something like that?
charges of stalking and computer tampering. He was just arrested in New York.
Sure his name not Mr. Mac?
Sheriff Arpaio says Simpson made death threats over Twitter against 2 TV anchors whom he refused to name. Investigators...
Did you say his name was Simpson? Because I can't keep these guys straight. These old men who are infatuated with Jodi, these like quasi-pedophile guys who think they're going to get a young woman and they're sociopaths like her. I think he said Simpson or something, this guy named, because it reminded me of Circe, a guy named Circe. Also remind me of a guy named Dr. Samuels. Samuels, Circe, Simpson, can't keep them all straight. Also a jury foreman guy.
say Simpson became infuriated with these 2 female anchors about how they were covering the Arias trial.
Evidently Simpson was infatuated with Jodi Arias.
Evidently.
He also told an employee where he worked previously that he wanted to hang the commentator by her feet and got her like a deer. These were some of the tweets that came over.
The sheriff's office says Simpson quit his job last week and told his employers that he was leaving town. Local police stopped him and found guns, a shotgun, ammunition, handcuffs, zip ties, a knife, and a police radio.
Wow, that sounds just like Jodi Arias' getaway car when they came and arrested her in Wairika. A lot of the same things in her getaway car. How come Jodi only attracts the most psychotic, bizarre, lying sleazeballs like this disgrace Alice Favarette into her corner? Now listen to what Alice says. We just got to look at this one more little time, and I want you to focus on Judge Stevens' classic eye roll, one of the funniest things I ever saw.
Yes. The only person I see who has a history of lying so far is Mr. Alexander.
That's quite amazing. Wasn't that amazing? 8 trillion lies from Jodi, and the only one liar she saw was Mr. Alexander.
I haven't seen that in her history prior to that.
Eye roll alert.
On the one side, we have...
I think I gotta back up and see that again. Good eye roll. Okay.
On the one side, we have demeaning multiple verbal slurs, a slap, a shove, a chokehold, and a lunge perpetrated on Jodi. On the other, we have a gunshot to the head, a 4-inch
Okay, she had to ask this like 5 times to get an answer. Let's skip ahead.
Domestic violence, Jodi.
No.
No, Jodi didn't do any violence. Okay, so anyway, just so y'all know. Okay.
In self-defense, a glimpse into the mind of Jodi Arias. Into the mind of Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias. Who is
a little bit scary, don't you think? Just a tiny bit scary. Well, okay, I admit it. She very, very scary. All right, so we back. So, what do you think about Jodi's followers? You know, all these sleazy guys that are like old dudes who are perverted and are attracted to the sociopath crazed witch from hell because I think they have sociopathic tendencies themselves, and they're trying to form an identity. So, like a magnet, you know, like moths to a flame. These crazy psychos. You see them all over the internet too. The trolls. You know, they're all old. Geezer men like that guy they arrested. Anyway, you know, and like that jury foreman who I'm not even going to name because he's an embarrassment. So I don't want to be too hard on him. At least we got a conviction. What do you think about Jodi and this whole business with the, you know, give me a pre-deal and everything? All right, let me suggest something to Juan Martinez and to the Jodi defense team to save the taxpayer money, since that's what she's really interested in. Here's what we do for the pre-deal, okay? Instead of death penalty, okay, give Jodi life without parole, but she can't be in the general population doing her art and her music and all that other crap. You know, she got to be in the same kind of cell as you would be on death row. And because we don't want her tormenting Travis' family the rest of her life is what she wants to do, actually. And so to prevent that, life without parole and so, but that's not the whole picture, okay? She need to break big rocks into small rocks 4 hours a day. And you say to me, Mikey Pal, that's not a full work day. And you're right. So what I want her to do for another 4 hours is she needs to be required to write on a blackboard 4 hours a day, every day, the rest of her life, the following. Okay? She needs to write, I planned out the murder of Travis. I admit to it all now. I had no foggy memory. I stabbed him 29 times. I slit his throat. I shot him in the head. I filled up the gas cans because I am a jealous, possessive, controlling, lying, black-hearted, manipulative, scheming sociopath from hell. She just needs to write that on the blackboard, you know, and fill it up and erase it and fill it up again and erase it. And somebody take a picture of it now and then and send it out to the world, okay? That solve all the problem. No expense, no retrial. Jodi gets to stay alive. And, you know, everybody happy, right? Even the people against death penalty. We all happy. All right, so, see, don't you think that a good solution? Tell me your thoughts. All right, anyway, you know, Juan Martinez, I saw him on a show yesterday or the day before. He were on a show about the other woman on death row in Arizona that he put away, by the way. Would have loved to have seen that trial. And I wish they would have taped it so they could replay it for us. Anyway, that was Wendy Adriano. And she was the one who was poisoning him to death, kept trying, and eventually beat him to death, because I guess he wasn't moving along fast enough with the poison. Also, he was dying of cancer. So a really nice wife, right? Guy dying of cancer. He would have eventually been dead, and but that not fast enough. So you're doing the poison, and that not working quick enough. So we'll beat him to death with a, what was it, a bar stool, you know. So, oh, she stabbed him too, of course, you know. So the bar stool thing was just to kind of like get him stunned and everything so she could move in with the knife. She claimed that he fell on the knife. You know, the knife was like sitting on the floor like that, I guess. It was one of the miracles of physics. It landed on the floor and just stayed like that, and then he fell on top of it. Anyway, those are the kind of things that we love to hear from Ryan Ryder, don't we? But anyway, I was going to tell you at the beginning, by the way, did that Wendy Adriano wanting to go out and party, so kill her spouse, remind you of anyone? Like Casey Anthony? Okay. But anyway, yes, whoever said, do you think Casey guilty? Yeah, I think she's guilty. The reason they can't convict her, no physical evidence tied her to the crime. What can I say? Yeah, so the jury say, we can't make a positive connection between her and the crime. Cause of death not even established, cause the baby, poor baby, be decomposed and everything. They can't establish cause of death. No DNA, no murder weapon, nobody know the cause of death, blah, 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 blah. So the jury had to let the woman go. I don't know, I think I would have voted guilty anyway, because there was a pretty good circumstantial case. But anyway, here's why I'm in such a good mood. Because I'm not talking about the Z-word trial, okay? And I gotta tell you something. After the last few videos I do, and reading all the stuff I read on the internet, and even the comment, I feel like I gotta take a shower, you know? In fact, not enough. I shower with rye soap. L-Y-E, you know, rye soap. Not rye bread soap. Anyway, I gotta take 10 showers. I gotta take showers with volcanic pumice, you know, to scrub myself down after all the things that go on with that Z-word trial. And by the way, I feel like I've been slimed after that, you know. So get that crap off me. You know. And by the way, Georgie Porgy, Puddin' and Pie, came out of hiding a mile from the scene, I think it was yesterday, to save a family that was in a rollover crash with the SUV or something. And I'm not kidding you about this. So he took a huge risk coming out. He got a bullseye in his back. It's only a mile from where the other incident occurred. And I think maybe he is the kind of guy that's just always trying to get involved and do the right... Oh, shut my mouth. I almost started talking about that Z-word trial. I ain't gonna go there. And you know why. I don't want to go there no more. Okay? Done with all that. All right, so that's why I'm in such a good mood. Hey, I don't want to ruin my mood. And I think you agree. I bet you all of you agree. Okay, do want to comment on a couple of the comments on my last couple video. Very nice black girl named Chanel Sedell. Come on and make reasonable arguments, you know, taking the opposite side. But what I appreciate about her is that you could see she have a very good attitude and nice civil discourse. If only more people could talk that way, you know. In fact, I noticed on my comments on some of the video, some people were starting to get a little out of control, and somebody using the N-word a little bit, somebody else getting crazy in reply, this and that. But you guys are so good that you went and policed yourselves. I didn't even have to remove any of that because the authors all removed their own comments, unless YouTube did. They all say author withheld. So all those really bad ones disappeared on their own. So I'm happy about that. I appreciate that because I want to keep it civil dialogue. Okay. Even I get tempted to be out of control now and then when I'm commenting. I understand. You get emotional, you're upset. Again, not going to go there. But I am going to say this one thing for Chanel, because she said to me, why don't you, since you're lecturing everybody about Obama and all these other things, why don't you ask those crazy white racists who are using the N-word on the internet and acting like KKK members that have come back to life to knock it off, okay? So, Chanel, I agree with you. You know, here's what I think. I think that the gangsta subculture and the KKK, in my mind, are the same organization, okay? I don't tell them apart. So, anyone who behaving in that way, hatred and violence in their heart, they're wrong, and that's all. That's all I'm going to say on it, because I don't want to get into that whole business. Now, other comments that people are asking me a few things. God is good said, because I mentioned my another daughter who's an artist, and she said, could you show us some of her work? I'm definitely going to do that. Got to get her permission first, and figure out how I can, I don't know, watermark it or something. Actually, if I do it on a video, then it can't be reproduced. So what I'll do is I'll take photographs of some of it, and then I will video the photographs. And that way, no one can really reproduce it. I'll put my finger in the scene or something, you know, so that, because I don't want her kind of copyrighted stuff to get messed up in any way, compromised. And the other thing is, when Christmas get a little closer, I think what we'll do is we'll have Bill Soprano come back and give Jodi Arias a singing lesson. You know, have Bill Soprano sing like "Oh Holy Night." What do you think about that? And that way we can teach Jodi, you know, how to sing the song. And then maybe in her next Jailhouse Idol contest that she'll do every year for the next 58 years, maybe she can improve a little bit. Maybe give her a couple tips and everything, you know, send it to her on a DVD, along with a few choice, well, never mind that. Don't want to mix up any bad stuff with Bill Soprano. She's such a sweet kid. And, you know, no said there. Anyway, I'm going to get this on the internet now, and so I can go to bed and get up on time for rocket science tomorrow. So until then, hey, don't go with no sociopath, okay? Take care. Give me kind comments, and nobody be mean to each other. Okay, take care. Good night.